Hello, is this the TopKapi Palace museum tour?
Yes, and welcome. The TopKapi Palace is not only the residence of the Ottoman Sultans, but also the administrative and educational site of the state. It was initially constructed between 1460 and 1478 by Sultan Mehmed II. It expanded upon and altered many times throughout its long history. And the palace served as the home of the Ottoman Sultans in their court until the mid-19th century. Follow me. Follow me to the Gate of Salutation, which is also known as the Middle Gate. This gate leads into the proper palace. With its two grand towers, it has become an icon for the entire TopKapi Palace. Only the sultans were allowed to pass through on horseback. All other state officials were required to dismount their horses before proceeding. But the women of the palace were allowed to ride through in royal carriages.
Where were all these towers built?
I can't hear you.
When were all the towers built? These two towers were built during the time of Sultan Suleiman I. Follow me for the rest of the tour. Follow me to the Imperial Gate. This gate was built as the main entrance on the palace's Hagia Sophia side in the time of Sultan Mehmed II. Bears above it an inscription in Arabic reads the following: "By the grace and assent of God, with the aim of establishing peace and tranquility, this auspicious citadel was built and erected in the blessed month of Ramadan, in the year 883, at the command of the Sultan Murad, the son of Sultan Muhammad Khan, the Sultan of the lands and the empire of the seas, the shadow of God extending over men, and Jahin, the deputy of God in the east and in the west, the champion of the water in the land, the conqueror of Constantinople, and the father of that conquest, Sultan Muhammad. May God make his reign eternal and exalt his abode above that of the high stars in the firmament."
That was very interesting. Thank you.
You probably really
Indeed.
Follow me into the first courtyard. As you can see, the first courtyard is surrounded by high walls. But unfortunately, in 1509, a massive earthquake destroyed these walls from the water's edge to the garden's gate. They required extensive renovation, but luckily it paid off, because now this beautiful courtyard contains the former imperial mint, the Church of Hagina Erin, the Istanbul Academy Museum, and various fountains, pavilions, and gardens.
And why was this built?
It was built by Mehmed II as a pleasure palace. Follow me into the second courtyard. We are now entering the second courtyard, which is also known as the Council Square. This courtyard was laid out in the 1460s, shortly after Sultan Mehmed II had conquered the city. It serves as an official representation of the Ottoman state, being a ceremonial ground for state governance. Here were held the ceremonies of the royal enthronement, formal holiday festivities, the reception of ambassadors, and stipend paid to Sultan's household soldiers.
What are all these buildings?
Well, on the left side stands the Tower of Justice and Doom's Chamber. There, the latter is where meetings at the Imperial Council were held. In this corner, the courtyard, the carriage gate. In this corner of the courtyard, the carriage gate to the harem apartments could also be seen. In the courtyard to the left, the gate of salutation are two fountains constructed in the time of Sultan Ahmed II.
Thank you.
Welcome to the third courtyard. This third courtyard is like the keep of a castle. When the gates to this courtyard, surrounded by strong structures, are shut, entry is virtually impossible.
I have a question.
Yes.
What are all these buildings and gardens surrounding us?
Great question. Well, upon entering the courtyard from the Gate of Felicity, the first building you see is the audience chamber. Located immediately behind the audience chamber is the library of Sultan Ahmed III. On the two sides of the Gate of Felicity are located the greater and lesser chambers of the inner palace, the White Inches dormitory, the apiary, and the apiary, while opposite of the gate across the courtyard are treasury of the chamberlain and dormitory of the treasurer and butler's dormitory.
This is so far my favorite courtyard. I really like everything about it. All the buildings are so old and timeless. Like me.
The roses. I wish you had
We are now entering the fourth courtyard. As we get deeper into the courtyards, they are getting more private. This courtyard was Sultan's private domain where he spent his days. The fourth courtyard was strictly regulated and off limits to any outsiders. But actually, this isn't a real courtyard. It is more of a combination of gardens on different levels with terraces stepping out towards the viewpoint that watches over the Golden Horn and Bosphorus Strait.
I love all the gardens. They're really pretty with all those different flowers.
I like the roses.
We are now in the harem. The harem apartments were where all the sultans lived together with their families, reflecting architectural styles ranging from the 16th century to the early 19th century. This entire complex is of the greatest importance in terms of agricultural history. The harem was initially established within the second courtyard, which we will get to later, and above the palace's back gardens. It expanded greatly over the centuries. This harem contains more than 300 rooms, 9 hammams, 2 muscades, a hospital, dormitories, and a laundry. Thank you for visiting the TopKapi Palace. I hope you enjoyed your stay or your visit. to this museum.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for being our tour guide.
I learned so much.
And this city, Istanbul, is very nice. I think we should go here again sometime
I agree.
for your 800th birthday or something.
They have good food.
You like every food.
Skylar. Because I will call the cops.
Calm down, Agatha. You don't
What's up, Rock? It was this
Istanbul, Constantinople, Istanbul, Constantinople, Constantinople, Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople lives in Istanbul, Constantinople, so beautiful. Constantinople, she'll be waiting.
destined to be a song.
His
Parents are killed by balls and rocks to the lightning storm. Yo, Harry, you're a wizard. He's got a hair and no danger.
That's
Got the max!
Istanbul, Istanbul. Even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. You just liked it better that way. Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone, Constantinople. Why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the turn.